Okay, we're all set.
Okay, Joanne, thank you, and welcome everyone to the June 7th, 2023 meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission. We will open with the roll call. Mr. Kyokyo,
Here.
Mr. Hofstadter,
Here.
Mr. Sylvain,
Here.
Mr. Haas. Kevin, are you there?
Oh, nope, I'm here.
Okay, and Chairman Finaldi is here. We do not need to seat any alternates, and I just want to take a quick look. Actually, no, we're not voting on anything. Yes, we are. We're voting on one issue tonight. Is everyone eligible for Blackman Enterprises? Everyone?
What?
Mr. Chairman, I did view the video from the last meeting, so I am current and up to date on all matters.
Okay, okay, so everyone is eligible. All right, good. The minutes of April 19th meeting were distributed, but the minutes of May 17th, 2023 were not. So unless there's any questions or corrections on the minutes of April 19th, the April 19th meeting, I will entertain a motion to accept those minutes.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Thank you, Helen.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Kyokyo. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And just in case anyone was wondering, just a reminder, the May 3rd meeting was canceled, so there will be no minutes for that meeting. Let the record show our next meeting is scheduled for June 21st, 2023. Before we proceed on the agenda, I will read the standard Zoom meeting introduction. This meeting of the Danbury Planning Commission is being held on Zoom as a virtual meeting. Even though this meeting is a virtual meeting, members of the public and interested parties continue to have the opportunity to participate in the meeting in a couple of different ways. You can participate via Zoom and see the audio and the video, or you can call in by phone and participate via audio only. Please be aware that we may have to mute your microphone or telephone in order to avoid an echo or some other background noise. Instructions on how to participate in the meeting appear on the City of Danbury website, and all of the documents and materials that apply to the matters to be discussed during this meeting, including the agenda, are also available on the City of Danbury website. As always, if you have any questions regarding how to participate in the meeting, please contact the City of Danbury Planning and Zoning Department. As a reminder, the entire meeting will be posted on and can be seen on the City of Danbury website. We will follow the posted agenda as per standard practice. If prior to the meeting any questions or comments on agenda items were submitted via email to the Planning and Zoning Department, they will be read during the appropriate portion of the meeting. Finally, please remember that technology glitches sometimes do occur. Please be patient if that happens. With that said, there are no new public hearings this evening, so we're going to move right to continuation of public hearings. Item 1, Tower Investment Group, LLP. Application for special exception site plan approval for apartment house, the Legacy on Main Bank, trip generation in excess of 500 vehicle trips per day. Section 3E2, in required parking in excess of 100 spaces, section 5F2B, in the CCBD zone 30 and 34 Main Street, I-15254, I-15335, special exception number 729. As printed on the agenda, this meeting will be continued. This hearing will be continued until the next regular meeting on June 21st, 2023. There will be no testimony or discussion at tonight's meeting. Jen, do we need a motion to continue here?
You do, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, commission members, unless there's anything else, I'll entertain a motion to continue the matter of Tower Investment Group, LLP.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion to continue the Tower Investment Group matter till the June 21st meeting.
Thank you, Bob. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Haas. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Jen, we're doing okay time-wise with Tower Investment, aren't we? We're not running up against any deadlines.
We're getting there. Attorney Beecher granted an extension to get us to the June 21st meeting. If we need to, we have, a couple weeks after that. So our hope is to be able to, the applicant would be able to continue at the 21st, and if need be, then we could go into July if we had to.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, let's keep moving. Old business for discussion and possible action. Number one, Blackman Enterprises LLC, property owner NSK Petroleum Wholesale Inc., prospective purchaser. Application for special exception revised site plan approval for automobile service station and convenience market, section 3E9 and 5A2B, and trip generation in excess of 500 vehicle trips per day, section 3E2, in the CG20 zone, 32 Germantown Road, J11362, special exception number 791, and the draft resolution of approval was previously distributed to everyone. With that said, Jen or Ally, who will be walking us through the resolution?
I'll be walking you all through that tonight.
Okay, all you.
Okay, so again, the project requires issuance of a grant of special exception for the following uses. The automobile service station, the convenience market are both special exception uses in the CG20 zone. And then the cumulative generation of greater than 500 vehicle trips per day as well. And then for the following whereases, I've corrected where the crosswalk language is. So it'll say painted crosswalk instead of standard. And then I've also corrected the discrepancy between the widths of the bypass lane from 9 feet to 8 feet on page 3. And then on to the conditions of approval. For number 4, the queuing of vehicles within the city of Danbury right-of-way is prohibited, and the queuing of vehicles shall be confined to the subject property in accordance with section 8B1 little b1 little b. And then number 7 covers the design plans for the crosswalk. They need to be submitted to the Department of Planning and Zoning and the City of Danbury Traffic Engineer for sign off on that. And then number 10 deals with the 8-foot wide bypass lane. And 11 covers the easement for the sidewalk. 12 deals with the right-of-way work, including the installation of the video camera detection, the painted crosswalk, and the installation of the concrete curbing, concrete sidewalk, and concrete aprons on Germantown Road. And the rest of the conditions are just general conditions of approval that we see. That was really quick.
That's okay. Quick is okay.
Does anyone have any questions on that?
Questions for Ally? Anyone? We spent a lot of time on this one, a lot of discussions, a lot of information back and forth, videos, etc. Anything on the resolution that anyone wants to discuss? Okay, well, if there's no other discussion on the draft resolution, I'll entertain a motion if anyone would like to make one.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the draft resolution with conditions that was sent to us, along with the changes that Ally outlined on the meeting tonight.
Thank you, Bob. A motion has been made to approve the resolution of approval with conditions as stated. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Mr. Sylvain. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oh. The resolution of approval with conditions is approved. Thank you. A lot of work went into this one. Thank you. Good job, Jennifer and Ally, on this one. Tricky one. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
You're welcome. That is it for the old business for discussion and possible action agenda. We will segue right to referrals. There's only one this evening. It's an 8-3A referral, petition of Black Wolf Properties LLC to amend sections 6A2B 12 and 6A5H 1 through 7 of the zoning regulations, add automobile, truck, and motorcycle repair with indoor parking facility and limited use automobile, truck, and motorcycle sales in IL 40 zone as a special exception use with additional use regulations. The zoning commission meeting for this matter will be held on July 11th, 2023. And we did receive a staff report dated May 31st, 2023 from Sharon. With that said, Jen or Ally, who will be handling this one?
I'll be handling that, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Jen, all you.
Okay, so we've received a petition from Attorney Neil Marcus to add limited use sales as a special exception use, number 12 in the IL 40. And there's a big long use category that you read in your intro that I will not repeat. But again, it adds the limited use sales as well as the indoor parking storage facility. So the repair of automobiles, trailers, and trucks is already a permitted use in the IL 40 district, as well as a parking facility is also a permitted use. As you may recall, the zoning regulations were amended a couple of years ago, I think during COVID, to permit the sale of new cars. If you remember the Curry Automotive site plan, that came forth from a text amendment to allow the sale of new cars. So that regulation, again, only allows the sales from a new car dealer license. Black Wolf wishes to sell used custom classic cars. So this is the property, it's the North American Motor Car Company. It's 32 Myrie Brook Road, a beautiful new facility. They've got the auto repair in the front, the storage building in the parking storage building in the back, the garage. So they deal with custom classic cars. They repair, renovate, restore. And what they'd like to be able to do is ultimately have the opportunity to sell those cars. So that selling used cars is not permitted under that text amendment from a couple of years ago, which brings us why they came in for this text amendment, which is to allow a limited number of sales of used vehicles at stores and or repairs on site. So this new use combines two existing permitted uses and adds a limited sales component. This new use is treated similar to the existing new car sales use. It's its own use category with additional use requirements. Again, it's a special exception use. Similar to the new car dealership use category. Under the additional use regulations, includes minimum lot size, requires access from a collector or arterial, requires indoor storage. It has a limit of 10 used car sales per month. With additional sales restrictions, which Sharon notes in her report. With respect to the POCD, and Sharon goes through that in length. The economic development goal of the POCD does provide for the leveraging of Danbury's unique assets to support economic development. And you've seen this over the years, Myrie Brook in that part of the IL 40 zone around the airport has seen a surge in custom classic car renovation facilities. So this is in line with that and certainly encourages the sales. So it opens the door slightly, but it, as Sharon says, it does not allow it to swing wide open. So it's just a little crack. We allow them in, again, with very specific requirements that they have to fulfill. And again, it's a special exception use. So, it's appropriate for the zone, but not appropriate in all locations. And it would be up to the Planning Commission to make that decision. So in conclusion, as a special exception use and with the additional use regulations as proposed, there is limited potential for a significant number of existing repairers with an indoor parking facility to convert to a use that includes limited sales. And sales are limited in number and must be a minimum value. Again, those are those additional use requirements noted earlier. Staff has no objection to this petition. And we just ask that you note your findings and include the report to the zoning commission. Any questions? I went through that very quickly, but you know, it's nice when you get a 2-page report, so want to keep it short and sweet.
So Jen, I guess the goal is to prevent, and to use your words, the proliferation of used car lots in IL 40. You just don't want every piece of IL 40 to suddenly have a used car lot pop up on it, and to sort of protect that, baked into this wording, there are some protections, for lack of a better term. There's the requirement that it be on a collector or arterial road. Indoor storage is probably the big one. I think most of us associate used car lots with outdoor storage. This doesn't allow that. 10 vehicles per month with minimum sales prices, etc. So I guess I'm just saying back to you what you just said, which is you baked into this regulation is some protection to prevent the proliferation of used car lots popping up all over the place.
Correct. And I didn't necessarily quote the actual values, which I thought were in Sharon's report. It was just the limitation on the number of sales, but the actual requirement: used automobile and truck vehicles sold from the site shall have a sales price of a minimum of $75,000 per vehicle, and used motorcycles sold from the site shall have a sales price of a minimum of $40,000 per vehicle. So again, this is catering to those higher end custom classic cars. It's not a standard, you know, sedan that's for sale.
Yeah. Okay. Discussion, commission members, any other questions? Mr. Chiocchio.
So Jen, did I hear you right that these regs were amended to allow the Curry dealership to sell new cars there? I guess there's the Nissan dealership too, right? And also the Volkswagen and Audi. I mean, that's all IL 40, right?
It's CG20.
Right, they're a
Joe,
different
I got
zone.
it. The Bacchus Ave, those dealerships on Bacchus Ave are in the CG20. And excuse me, the text
Sugar
amendment came in 2020 because that corner parcel where Curry Automotive is currently building, that's IL 40. So again, the sale of automobiles was prohibited in the IL 40 until that text amendment came in. And again, that had some of the similar parameters, but again, it was one of the biggest parameters was that it was new car sales. You couldn't sell used cars from there. So in this case, and there was the distance requirement. So
Yeah.
there was a couple things against North American Motor Car doing what they wanted to do. So, you know, that's what they approached the department and, trying to come up with a way to sell these classic cars. Again, it's a niche market.
Yep. Yep.
So
I got it. Okay, so I understand that. I'm pretty much, there's a 3-acre minimum too, which,
yes,
is going to narrow the scope of this as well, which is, and inside storage. So I think all of those requirements are good and helpful, and I'm okay with that. And I just have another, just occurred to me. So does that mean that Curry can't sell used cars?
correct. That's
No,
correct.
no,
Joe, please.
I'm sorry.
No, they have a license for a new car. They're only allowed to sell new cars.
Really? So they're not
The
going to
new
sell
car-
used cars from that location? Wow.
Go
Okay.
ahead, Joe. Clarify it.
Well, it's like a ladder and it starts with limited repair and then the next step up is general repair. The next step up is used car and the next step up is new car. New car can do everything.
According to
You have
their
a new
state
car
license,
license.
according to their state license, I understand that. But according to the our
Right.
zoning regulations, they're
Right.
not allowed, right?
Right, that's what she meant. I'm sorry.
So
Does that
that,
answer your question, Bob?
that's interesting that they're not gonna be able to sell used cars from there.
Right, again, the text amendment, we wanted to be very careful about selling the sale of automobiles. And we felt the best way to restrict that was to say new car, again, within those parameters. And under this text amendment, it would be the used cars with all of those additional requirements, minimum lot area, collector arterial, the 10 vehicle, the limit of
Yeah,
10, all
Yeah.
all of those things. Again, different from the new dealership requirements.
Yep. Okay, I just find it interesting that they're not gonna sell used cars from that location, which really doesn't make any sense because they do that all the time. But, okay, that's their problem, I guess, or issue. Thank you.
You know, it's an interesting point, Bob. I think at the Audi dealer on Sugar Hollow, I think that's all new, and I think they do their used cars down on Mill Plain.
Yeah,
So maybe that's one of those deals where you carve out your used and you move that somewhere else. That's what Audi did, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, could be.
I don't know. Okay, any other questions for Jennifer on this particular referral?
Just
Okay,
a
so
quick
again,
comment.
please.
I like that, we're being creative in both protecting, against a proliferation like we talked about, but also finding ways to leverage our unique assets and what might be considered a cluster over there by the airport, according to our POCD. So I would be in favor of it. And if you're welcoming a motion, I would make okay. I would make a motion for a positive referral on this special exception for the reasons outlined in the staff report that outlined the consistency with the POCD.
Motion's been made for a positive referral. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Helen. The only comment I would make is I'm pleased that the number of people that own these exotic vehicles and spend a fortune to store them over on Myrie Brook Road. That's a niche I never thought much about, but I mean, when you look at that building and the money they must have spent putting that up, there must be demand. Somebody's doing it, so well done. Okay, there's been a motion for a positive referral and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This matter gets a positive referral. Commission members, we have nothing under new business correspondence, and you're welcome to glance at for reference only. Is there anything else, Jen?
No, Mr. Chairman, there's not. This is a very quick meeting tonight.
I'm sure you're all disappointed at the quick meeting, but about it. Unless there's anything else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Let's say Helen made the motion and Mr. Kyokyo seconded it. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? This meeting is adjourned. Nice quick one. Go take a break. Watch
Good
some-
work.
Good evening, everybody.
you.
All right, thanks all.
Everybody.
Good
Take
work.
care.
Good night.
Good night.